With AssetMule, the greatest thing too is it's easy to use. I'm Adam O'Brien. I'm the Vice President of Marketing over at I Donate, where we fundamentally help nonprofits build higher performing donation pages for their websites. Been using AssetMule for over a year now. It's become such a critical and crucial part of my day-to-day, our go-to-market team's motions, as well as our ABX strategy heading into 2025. Specifically with AssetMule, I had two big issues. One is I'm not a professional designer. I know it looks good, but I don't have the time to recreate that, right? But also needed a somewhat, we'll say, excellent system to not only create these templates or create these sales assets, but then also have them live in one spot and have them easily accessible with our go-to-market team, and then also be able to understand how they're being used and tracked, right? So AssetMule came along. It's like the perfect combination of like Canva, but then also Seismic, all the best parts, ditching all the worst parts like pricing point and just, we'll say inaccessible for startup marketers like myself who are just one team and a limited budget, right? Not only did it look great, it was easy to use, stood it up quick, and then thankfully the sales team and the go-to-market team was able to adopt that very easily. And they were running with it, right? I have reps using their versions of our assets based on my templates and outbound sequences. We're able to see exactly who's coming in and who's viewing that, and able to time and be a little bit more strategic about our outreach efforts too as well, which is one of the biggest things as we evolve our go-to-market strategy heading into 2025. I think the biggest thing that AssetMule has impacted for my workflow, really the go-to-market team workflow, has just been the way we create assets. So we're able to think about strategically what we need created. We're actually using the building blocks and the templates as guiding principles within AssetMule to help understand how to build a better engaging tool for our outbound sales team, right? And that even goes down to the storyline integration, which was so clutch because we're focused on giving people as much exposure and hands-on action with our product before they even talk to us, as a way to kind of jumpstart the time to close. If we're thinking about tracking stages and all that pipeline stuff, we need a way for people to ramp that up. This is the perfect solution. From that perspective too as well, it changed how I go about creating what I'll call landing pages, really AssetMule pages. So it helps me to be, again, thinking in the mind frame of, from a customer's perspective or a prospect's perspective, what would I want to see? And then how do I translate that into an AssetMule page, which, it's making me a better product marketer at the same time of providing better tools for my sales team. From the first second I hit AssetMule's website, I couldn't believe I got to go do a free trial. Or effectively, you got a certain, I think it's 3 assets for free, but it's basically giving me candy in order to get me hooked even more. And I couldn't believe how easy it was to make the transition from the freemium version into a paid subscription. Justin and George were so kind to reach out to me directly when I actually signed up to give me a crash course. And that was before founders were getting super involved, in my opinion, last year with the process of, hey, if you're interested, let me show you my baby. Let me show you the ins and outs of this so you not only know how to use it the best to fit your circumstances, then it's going to be a lot harder for me to leave, right? Stickiness. People and relationships are a huge part of that. The resources are there to help make me be a better marketer, help my team grow more efficiently and effectively as well. With AssetMule, the greatest thing too is it's easy to use. There are a couple inflection points that I found were critical to our team's adoption. One was the early adopters were instantly on it and running, right? They put in their HubSpot, scheduling link, and they're having me create assets for them, signing to them, and they're using their outbound campaigns. Like, they're running with it. The others, I actually went through and used it in a campaign for myself, and then relayed the success of what I was able to accomplish. Specifically, this is around events, right? We did a physical event. We're actually using AssetMule as our landing page in the booth. I had the storyline integration all set up. And I was booking meetings, right? That was a key point for adoption for a lot of the other rest of the team who's maybe lagging, not because it's not easy to use or they didn't like it. It's just that they needed to see the outcomes and how easy it was to create really someone who didn't know about us. And then 15 minutes later, we've got them in a meeting for a demo in the following week. So that was huge for the adoption. As we're growing with AssetMule is a key part of our not only our go-to-market strategy, but then also our ABM strategy heading into 2025. The one thing I'm always key to look at is statistics and what we can drive out of specifically AssetMule as it fits into different parts of our outreach efforts. One of the biggest things I've noticed is, especially in physical events, is that it answers the key problems. It cuts our time to have to explain what we do. And the conversion rate, obviously, when you're in person, is near instantaneous. Now, think about that versus scanning a badge and then having to follow up and then multiple reaches, and a lot of people fall off the map. We're capturing intent right exactly where it's happening in booth. We've just recently deployed this across our ads and our paid ads specifically. It allows us to move a lot faster. But then more specifically, what I'm looking for is conversion rate, right? Do we have the right messaging? Are we have the right pathways on our AssetMule templates? The other thing that we just launched is micro, or what we call lightning campaigns, where they're micro, hyper-focused outreach efforts into very specific segmented user bases. We just launched one this week where the primary asset is an AssetMule page. Granted, the call to action is a HubSpot link for the rep, as well as there's a big portion of it that's highlighting the story link demo interactivity function right in the middle of the page, right? Again, going back to that, giving everything that we can directly to the prospect before they even talk to us. That should be converting in closer to 3 to 5% based on early results.